Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. In the previous episode we perfected the petroleum boiler here and we also already tested it, fixed a couple of quirks, and now I believe it is going to work. At the moment we ran out of magma for the first eruption. However, the first eruption had to fill up all of these tiles, so with the second eruption we should be capable of heating up the petroleum until the next eruption. Since this is going to happen in half a cycle, I'm actually going to observe it and we shall see whether or not this is continuing. Right now there is one more thing that I noticed when we are in this particular situation, which I hope we will never be in again. I will have to manually enable the contraption again. But with the second eruption, I hope we are gonna accumulate so much magma that this is never gonna be the case again. Otherwise, we would need to implement something to prevent this from happening in order to make this ultimate again. There is the eruption in another 2 seconds. Wonderful. Fill it up, baby. And it is still going strong. Okay. And it looks as though this is going to be it. So let's reactivate the contraption, see how that goes. Let me see, what do I have to do? Just quickly set this below and then above again. I'm actually not 100% sure. Yeah, and then set it to above again. Okay, that should be working out. And now it's gonna take 200 seconds for this to actually do its thing. And then hopefully the system is gonna be balanced. In the meantime, I'm still doing the research. We just need a little bit more in order to set up the drill cone. And then we're gonna go on our first space mission to collect some material. Something else I would like to plan out in today's episode is the colonization of Coldito, I believe it was. Let me see, that has the iron volcano, and it will be a very simple planetoid to colonize. If you remember, we already explored it with a robot, and we also revealed this iron volcano, though it submerged itself again, as it seems. But yeah, I can kind of see myself coming down with a rocket where we are gonna live, not set up a base at all, and just get those iron volcanoes going. I believe we can do each one with a steam turbine, and with the new setup we were going for, we wouldn't even require more than a couple of solar panels to keep everything up. It would just be one aqua tuner we have to run for the entire operation. On Gloani, I noticed our current batteries are just not enough. We could accumulate much more power during the daytime and then use it during the nighttime, which I think we should do. And I'm just gonna set up a bunch of batteries. Let me see, maybe somewhere they are being cooled. Yeah, we could set some up right here, for instance, and over yonder. We hook them up to some power, and that's that. Maybe a bunch more here until we decide to place something else there. In the meantime, back on Crudial, we are producing again, and it looks like, yeah, the cooling system is starting to kick in again. Now, so far this has been working great because the oil is already at around 330 degrees when it reaches the liquid vent, and it starts here at 31 or 32 degrees. Now also this petroleum is cooling down already at 95 degrees. I would like this to be around 50 degrees or so, but for that the contraption has to run for a little while. Well, I have to say, this is going much quicker than I anticipated. I guess we're gonna be able to switch to petroleum generation much sooner. Maybe something I would change now is put this liquid element sensor on the second tile. It reacts a little too quick. Or actually we can just change that with the filter gate. Yeah, instead of 2 seconds, we want oil in there for 10 seconds before it shuts off. That might actually help. Also, I noticed when this becomes a solid tile and we are not transferring the heat, the timer still continues. That is another thing I would like to optimize maybe. We could potentially accomplish that if we have enough heat. Let's say we are over 400 degrees and this door opens. Then we could additionally send a signal over here to the timer and shut it off. And then as soon as the door closes again, the timer would re-enable itself. So if we do this right, all we have to do is connect these wires here. And I could potentially reach this from the bottom, though I do not want to remove the steam turbine. We need it. Also if I open this up, then I'm gonna get a lot of heat in here. You know what? Let's be daring and we're gonna enter from here. Build this wire really quickly. Okay, we have access. Liam is building it. Nice. Okay, that means... Wait. Right now it doesn't matter. It only matters when we don't have liquid anymore. When this solidifies, the timer starts, but we want to stop the timer when the door opens because then we're not gonna actively suck out the heat. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. Wow. I'm so glad I left these liquid locks in place. This was actually an easy fix. And now I can easily convert all my oil to petroleum, just like that. Let's check the temperatures again. Is it getting better? 150 degrees here, 90 here. Doesn't look like we are effective enough in cooling. And I bet you that is because we don't have a constant flow. So we need to prevent this from happening by increasing the temperature. Wait, that is weird. How is it 403 degrees and it should only send the green signal at 410? Oh no, of course, I'm such an idiot. What I have to do is make this a one-way street. So this is going to be a little more complicated. We could also do this with a filter gate. And we place this here and then we could go straight over, but then I will end up with some debris. I don't like the idea of that. We could also just do that and that. Okay, back in there we go. No, it's an unreachable build, this filter gate. Okay, maybe we can build it from the top down. Please just let me do this. Okay, cut that and connect these guys. Filter gate awaiting delivery. Okay, that seems to be working. Oh no, don't go to sleep. Okay. Hopefully we will survive this night. Okay, so now it just turned into a solid tile, not what I wanted to see. Let's check out the automation. Yeah, now we could just send the green signal whenever we reach the temperature. And then when we don't reach the temperature anymore, this is when we definitely want to start the timer. My filter gate is in place, now sending a green signal. What does that mean? Yeah, okay, it goes back to the stage as if there was some magma in here. And now as soon as we don't reach the temperature anymore, for at least 400 seconds, then it is gonna switch. This is actually a much better system now. That means we close it off again and hopefully be done with it. And we can actually rebuild this on the main planetoid as well. I was kind of thinking to do the exact same thing with the volcano we have going on here. What we have to do is build everything a little bit higher up and then we can run the magma in a channel down below and set up the petroleum boiler here. That would be nifty and dangerously close to the main base. Oh man, I love this. We can now suck so much heat out of just one magma tile. I'm so glad I just thought of this and that the solution didn't require me to fully go in there. It's very simple, but let's set the filter gate a little bit higher. I don't want it to switch all the time. So let's say maybe 30 seconds or so. Nah, that's too much. Let's do 10 seconds. No, that's too little. Let's do 15. Okay, soon enough we have so much petroleum that we are forced to pump it out and actually do something with it. Should we just send it to the main planetoid or where do we have troubles? Like on Gloani, we could definitely use some extra power. Also has a minor volcano we could use for power production, even though this is probably not a good idea. We should probably just use the water. I don't know. I'm not using it for anything else. Yeah, holy cow, here we are already filling up the last tile. Okay, let's freaking do this. I already planned out the way to actually get out the petroleum. Right now it is a little too hot for my liking, so I'm thinking of sending it through the oil as well, since we cooled that down pretty drastically. On the other side, there's all this ethanol we could use for power production first. I think I actually want to send this over to Gloani. Now, should we do this with the rocket or the launcher system? Yeah, probably the rocket is the better choice. We could even use this rocket here, replace a couple of modules. And then we don't want to store the crude oil or the water anymore. Actually, do we have enough piping for the water? Let me see. Yeah, that's definitely gonna suffice for a trip or so. The question is, how far can we go? We currently have no steam in there. Is my steam loading system still intact? Looks like it is intact. So all we have to do is set this to 150 kilograms, reset the amount, and then we should be receiving that steam. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back, oh no, we will never make it. We have to refuel it on crude oil. So maybe it would still be better to use a rat bolt engine since we can go much further with it. We would have the space for 2 or 3 liquid tanks if we don't have any power requirements otherwise. This has a range of 20 tiles, so we could easily make it to Crudial, then to Glowani, and then back home. So we already know the 3 next space missions. First we want to go for the first fullerene here with the drill cone. Next up we want to bring some petroleum over to Glowani, so we have basically unlimited power over there. And the third mission is then gonna lead us to Coldito to get infinite iron. I really like where this is going. I think what I'm gonna do is set up a bunch of liquid reservoirs where we can store the petroleum for now. We could probably go straight down, which I'm gonna do in the future, but for now we have to kind of avoid this mess, though. Yeah, we could set up a bridge in this place, and then we just bring it down into the liquid reservoirs. Let's make sure we can actually build all of this. Wonderful. But as you can see, even with only 818 degrees here, we are capable of opening the door multiple times, and it just needs to close for a very short time in order to get the heat back up to 410 degrees. Yeah, this was a very good decision to get back in there. Alright guys, after observing this for a bit, I decided we have to add some additional automation that is gonna prevent more oil from entering, and this is gonna grind the whole system to a halt. The issue is, at the moment, I'm pumping out the liquid as fast as I'm pumping it in. I mean, the oil is continuously going in and it is being converted into petroleum as fast as I can pump it out. This essentially means we would be filling up the entirety of the structure, and that is definitely not what I want. Also, right here we have some heat exchange going on now. That means I'm using additional cooling that isn't really necessary. So I decided to add a little liquid lock here, and right now I'm making my way inside of here. And I decided to set up another hydro sensor where I want the petroleum to stop. Now, actually thinking about this, I might want to move this one below the heavy watt joint plate. Yeah, I think that is a good idea. We're gonna deconstruct this ladder, and then we're gonna move the filter all the way down. So it's gonna be in this spot, and then right here we detect above 500 kilograms, and on this one we would detect above the maximum. Or let's bring this even further down, let's say 200 kilograms here, and then this one is gonna be 800 or so. What? No, actually look at this, it's 738, so we need to set it to 700. Oh no, what did I do? I now have ethanol in the system. That is not really what I wanted to see. Oh man, sometimes, well, at least here I could still mop it up. Let's try to do that. Come on, Liam, you have to save the day. Get rid of that ethanol. I'm not even sure how that actually happened. Yay! Finally, research is completed. We have access to the drill cone. The drill cone will require 4 spaces, but you actually gave me a tip. We can get rid of 1 cargo bay entirely, and what we will do is actually give us access to the items inside of the rocket, and therefore create some kind of an infinite storage. With the conveyor loader, fitting allows solid materials to be moved out of the rocket storage via conveyor rails. So this is exactly what we want. There's currently no space that we could use other than maybe this guy here. We don't really need that storage bin, but other than that we would also need some rails and then a conveyor chute here at the bottom. Let's set that up here together with the conveyor loader fitting. Wonderful. Does this require some power? Yes, indeed. Okay, that could be an issue. Well, no, not anymore, since we now have plenty of space to build solar panels. But first things first, let's set up the drill cone here. We have the space for 1 more module, either an artifact module or a solar panel. Considering we still have some machinery that we want to potentially use during the mission, I'm just gonna leave the solar panel in place. And we can even take 1 artifact transport module with us as well. I actually want this to move up a little bit. There we go. That is going to be the rocket that we launch for this mission. In the meantime, looks like we have made our way inside of here. I just need to build the automation wire. And in order to do that, we will have to remove this block here temporarily. And where is this going exactly? So basically, when we detect some liquid here, just enough so it doesn't touch the joint plate here. And then we send a signal over to this guy, which is then gonna shut off the liquid vent. Actually, we'll be sending a green signal. Yeah, we have to do it here with the NOT gate. So, oh man, I have to somehow gain access to this now. Yeah, honestly, this might be a little issue. Can we just open this up? No, this is too hot. The problem is, if I build a ladder here, then I'm not going to be able to remove it again. We will leave the ladders in place. In the end, it doesn't really make a difference. Oh geez, looks like we already filled up all of our liquid reservoirs. I think I might have to address this first to give us a little bit more time. Get some more storages built, and then we are going inside to stop the contraption. Or maybe stopping the contraption has priority. Yeah, I guess we should probably do that. I mean, I could probably stop it manually. Actually, let's maybe do that for now. And this way we're not gonna be in a hurry. I'm just not gonna let any more oil drop in. Ah, okay, there it happened. Wrong element. How oil? How does this even make it into the system? Ah, of course, it's because I took the pipes apart that were filled with oil and now it dropped in here, and I don't accommodate for oil because that was never a thing that actually resided in these liquids. So I think my best course of action is to pick up the oil just by sweeping it up. But this actually doesn't answer the question of how the ethanol came to be here. No, this is not good. Now this is getting heat damage because it is getting converted. Of course, we are now heating up the entire thing. Okay, well, it's good to know because that would be another issue. So a much easier solution would be to send the signal to this guy that is then opening the door permanently and also keeping the thing in its current stage, and then the trigger for stopping the oil would happen automatically. This also means I don't have to do crazy things. All I have to build is the wire in here, connect it to there, and that should be it. So this can go as well. And now, well, we will have to fix those pipes. But I'm actually glad this happened, because otherwise it would have happened later on. And of course the issue is eventually the entire thing is going to heat up if we always try to keep this at 410 degrees. We are just going to send the heat through the entire thing. Now we will be opening up the door permanently as soon as the liquid reaches this part. But we have to do this quickly now, otherwise things are falling apart, and I'm gonna move the liquid here again, otherwise more pipe damage is gonna occur. In the meantime, I think we're ready to launch the mission here. We should be fueled up. Let's actually have a look inside. One more thing we have to check. Did we fill this up here with diamonds? This should be, yeah, 1 ton of diamonds is required to load into the drill cone. Good. With that out of the way, let's change the direction. We want to hop all the way over to this asteroid field and get some fullerene, finally. Begin launch sequence. Ellie, good luck. I hope you will be doing fine. Look at this magnificence. Oh geez, things are getting a little bit spicy now. As long as we still maintain a vacuum here, I'm not going to be too bummed out about it. And, well, Liam had to go to sleep again. This is kind of unfortunate. But at this point we should be able to connect the wires already. And we just want to prevent this door from ever closing so we don't accumulate more heat. Jeez, everything is going down the drains just because of the darn sleeping time. I should give him less downtime. Come on, Liam, hurry up. Build that tile. Thank you. Okay. Wait. Where are you going? You need to build this freaking hydro sensor now. And here we go. Okay, as soon as we detect 700 kilograms, that's when we want to send a green signal. And now this is gonna bring the contraption to a grinding halt. Now we just have to get in there, fix the piping, rebuild this block maybe, and then we're golden. Okay, looks like we got the situation under control again. Let's check out our rocket. Where is it? How long will it take? 3 cycles with 12 tons of cargo remaining. Now on Crew Deal, I noticed we're gonna require some water soon. Maybe that is another rocket we should launch by now. As a matter of fact, I wanted to build another liquid cargo tank so we can fill up 2, which means 18 tons of water that we can ship over in one mission. So I'm gonna allow my duplicants to actually finish this and fill this up with water. We'll bring it over. But nice, this is now actually working because we're not injecting more heat. The oil isn't being converted, which means the liquid shutoff is shutting off after a while. And then that also means no unnecessary heat is going to be transferred over to the pipes. And my oil should be fairly secure here. I mean, it's at the point of being converted right now, but seems to be fine. One thing I actually wanted to test out is a petroleum generator. I wanted to know what we have to take into consideration while placing this. For instance, does it have an output for the carbon dioxide? No, it just spews out the carbon dioxide. This is fine, however, it also spews out some polluted water. As a matter of fact, let's check it out again. 500 grams of carbon dioxide and 750 grams of polluted water. And then of course a whole bunch of heat, but I think we should be able to deal with that. The question is, do we have enough steel here? No. How many do we want to build? Probably 3. Yeah, we would have the space to set up 3, which I believe I'm gonna do. So let's send over some materials. I already loaded steel from the looks of it, so we just want to send over 800 kilograms per machine. Okay, now let's fix these radiant pipes and then we can close this room off again. And 1 block there, thank you. And now it would be great if you... No, wait. I want you to pick that up because that is the last thing we need. Thank you. Sometimes you just have to babysit them, and then instead of bringing that far away, you first want to close off the room, please. Very nice. They can be so much more efficient if you tell them what to do. Did we already? Yeah, we got some steel, so we can at least install one of these bad boys. That should be hooked up to the batteries themselves too. And then we also want to enable this with automation wire. And we have even more steel. Very nice. I'm just addicted to the launcher system. Of course, one more thing we're gonna need is access to petroleum, which we have, of course. We're also going to move the petroleum out of the storages, and what we want to do is bring this over here using a liquid bridge. And this is going to make sure that once we don't have fresh petroleum anymore to use for these bad boys, we will then be using our reserve. Whoops, I accidentally left the game running. Looks like we built the 2 petroleum generators and they are already doing their thing. I set them to 95 and 20%, the batteries. And then I had to slightly reroute the piping for it to actually work. But this is great, we got rid of the power problems here on this planetoid, and as soon as we went through this petroleum, we will be able to run the contraption the way it is intended. But right now that isn't an issue anymore. Also, my rocket arrived at the spot here. Let's check it out. Total mass remaining 31.4 tons, so it did mine a little something. We also collected the artifact, and can I check out my rocket? What's the cargo space left? 100 and... okay, so what currently is happening is we are using our diamonds to do some drilling, and of course the inventory is automatically being unloaded inside of the rocket. So right now we are receiving all these materials. Hopefully they're not too hot. As a matter of fact, they are agreeable, and the fullerene, look at that, 134 kilograms already. This is very nice. This means we will be able to mine the entire asteroid field. We just have to remain here for a little while. And it looks as though we are extracting 7.5 kilograms per second. So hopefully Ellie is up to stay there for a couple of cycles. So I think that's all we're gonna do for today's space mission. Then we're gonna fly back and tackle the other 2 missions. Though one more thing we could do is already get this rocket started here. No, I was a dummy and did not set that to load the water. So this is something we'll be doing at the beginning of the next episode, because on Crew Deal we are definitely running out. So bringing the ethanol over to Gloani and eliminating the power problems here on this planetoid as well is gonna be one of my next goals. Great, I'm glad this all kind of worked out and we now truly perfected this machine. I believe we now taken care of all the potential problems that we could encounter. And to be honest, we probably will end up with way too much magma, so not having enough magma is never going to be a problem if I had to guess, but we'll have to see about that. Great, so I would say with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and we now need to wait for this rocket to be mining most of the mass of this asteroid, so we get as much fullerene as possible. As a matter of fact, how much do we already have? 405 kilograms. This is actually much better than I first anticipated. So I'm really glad we did that. It will just take an enormous amount of time to do it. But yeah, with those 2 projects out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.